I would
they
say
were one of the strangest-looking males on the planet, is what they said.
Indeed, It's not the most flattering photograph. It actually looks like I have been abducted by aliens in that particular photo.
I can think of 3 odder-looking men.
What does it come on me for? What does it come on me for, then?
Yes, this is the...
I'm lovely.
There's that famous thing that Everest is 28,002 feet high. Who cares about those last 2 feet? It'd be ridiculous, wouldn't it?
Well, if you were climbing it, it makes a difference. No good stopping at 28,000 feet, kidding yourself you've got to the top. And you go, oh, you look it up in a library, and oh, look, I told you it was another 2 feet, you said stay there.
That's the sort of thinking that gets us the Wobbly Bridge. How far is it across the river? It was about that far, isn't it?
What's Tony Blair doing there, for goodness sake?
He's adjusting his earpiece. It's Alistair Campbell coming through.
Or comforting a sick budgie. You'll be all right, I'm the Prime Minister. I can't think of anything remotely interesting about that. It's Tony Blair just having a stretch.
That would do.
Yeah.
Yep. On which elevated
Well, it won't do, really, will it?
No.
I mean, I'm showing what's my caption? Tony Blair's having a stretch. No, the next ones you'll do will all be funny pictures. Sort of like Jeff Capes with a budgie coming out his ear or something. I know Neil's doing Jeff Capes' budgie coming out his ear. And we get that. We want to see what the next pictures are like, and I bet you they're all better than Tony Blair having a stretch. OK, let's have a look. Go on, off you go.
And I leave you with news that life in Kabul gets back to normal as Afghanistan sees the return of its own topical news quiz.
That is funnier than Tony Blair having a stretch. Bloke on the right saying hello, who's nicked their office?
Bloke on the left going, why I keep losing?
Weren't you involved in the story in some way?
It's one of the pictures I was rather hoping to see this week on the show.
Right.
The one of you and Ulrika watching football. Oh, there it is. What are you shouting there?
The thing that people, shout at football matches like.
For heaven's sake, let's keep a low profile.
Who's nicked my teeth? You've got them in your hand.
When did Sven and Ulrika meet then? What's the history of the...
I don't know, we're asking you.
Yeah. You're at a football match with her, you know more about this than we do. We should be asking you the questions.
So how did the Daily Mail add to this debate this week?
Did they ask a question at the press conference?
So they asked their readers, is Sven sexy? They did a poll of British women to find out whether... Is he sexy?
No! I shouldn't say this because you're all... But he's too old.
Everybody in the world's older than you, so...
I know, it's not hard, but...
No, but thank you for not saying that anyway.
It's all right, so where are we at?
Good of you.
I mean, we're old enough to be your parents, admittedly, but he's old enough to be your grandfather, isn't he?
Yeah, precisely. That's the difference.
Yes, old enough to be Ulrika's grandfather.
It was his birthday on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yes, not only birthday, but death day as well.
Yeah.
He died on his birthday.
Really? All those days in one day? He didn't know about it, Straight out, born...
And how else was Tony supposed to have shown disrespect at the funeral?
Farting.
No.
Really?
No, oddly not, no.
Must be something wrong with my telly. I thought it was a bit off.
Are you taking part?
No, I wasn't asked.
That's a shame.
I know.
Probably got an exam that day anyway.
Yeah. Actually, I've got a... I'm sorry, because I completely turned this whole kind of game show around and talk about me, but oh well. I'm going to stop in the middle of my GCSEs and go over to America and sing for the president, which I find quite bizarre, actually. Yeah, so I think I'm going to do history in another exam over in America. I just thought I'd tell you that
don't ask
fact.
his advice on the paper.
him before, he asked me what state Wales was in. I was quite amused as how to answer it.
And you said terrible.
Did you let on that you made an enormous gaffe?
No, because I thought, how can you answer that without offending the American president? He'd probably come over and bomb Britain or something. So I just kind of read, it's in Britain next to England, and I kind of walked away because I felt a bit stupid then, so I left it at that.
You felt stupid?
Well, it's very magnanimous of you to feel stupid. So, nothing to our winners. A mug that looks rather like Ian Hislop to our losers, which was donated by one of the audience this evening.
Let's have a look. Does it look like Ian?
I think we'll take that as a yes. And who are they cracking down on?
Humans.
Yes.
Because they're responsible for all the troubles if you're an animal.
Right. In particular, which kind
Well,
of
that's
humans?
not necessarily true. If you're a mouse, you get an awful lot of trouble from owls. Tremendous lot of trouble. You're out being a mouse, you're thinking you're in a swoop and got you gone.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
From predators.
Do you think the Bill of Rights will extend that far?
Yeah.
Well, it's
Will they
very...
arrest
An owl
owls?
won't take a blind bit of notice of you. You can pass as many laws of Parliament as you like. I mean, I think it was Churchill in 1924, when he was with the Liberals. They tried to stop owls wearing duffel coats.
Well, that worked.
That worked. That worked. Yeah. You try putting a duffel coat on an owl, and it won't wear it.
And gerbils are the other people who are going to be...
The other people. Well, this is hardly David Attenborough. Life on Earth.
Yeah, well, you've got to regard them as
Crocodile
human.
coming down the bank. Here comes Mr. Bishop.
Mr. Ratty. So Gareth Hunt, yes, is the odd one out, as he acted in an advert for Nescafe. Why is that ironic?
Well, I don't know. Why is it ironic?
Because he doesn't drink coffee.
That is ironic.
It's
isn't
extraordinary.
it? Do you bank at Barclays?
I do, actually. I don't have to bank at Barclays, because I don't advertise them anymore. But you obviously
Don't you?
not noticed.
Who's taken over from you then?
The Premier League.
The Premier League, all of them.
Gosh, you were expensive then. I was hoping you'd say Keith Chegwin. Anyone lined up as a replacement? I'll just turn on the telly and there he'll be, won't he?
Yeah.
Advertising stair lifts.
Yeah.
Angus.
Or one of those baths with a sort of car door. That
I love it. That's great.
How do they work? The bath you can walk into, how do they work?
Yeah.
I'll never know.
you think the water would fall out.
Exactly. You fill up your bath, you think that's lovely, you open the door, surely water all's over the floor. And when you get old, you get a bit confused. But there's people over the country, I've done it again.
That's Mrs. Thatcher saying it's very good of you all to come. Night of the Living Dead. Especially John Major. Look at him. Anyone remember me?
Is it the Spot the Queen competition?
And why is the timing suspicious of this?
But they've got a musical.
Yes, Roger Taylor, Brian May, yes.
Yes.
This is written by Ben Elton, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, partially. He's written the book.
And who's written the music?
Well, Queen.
Queen. Have you been invited to the premiere?
I haven't.
Oh, dear. You've been invited to the premiere, Paul?
What?
We're talking about the Queen musical over here.
Have you taken leave of your senses?
Is this a way of telling the audience that you have?
Oh, yes.
And the sad thing is, you'll go.
Yes.
You're not seriously going to go and see it, are you?
I might do, if I'm not doing anything else.
If anyone's got an envelope, he will open it.
There's another bizarre top 10 published this week. All-time role models for children. They've done a survey of. And this is the top 10. Numbers 1, 2 and 3, relatively unsurprising.
What, children everywhere decided to be very small?
Yes, go on, kids, evade more tax. You must have hero worshipped someone. Didn't you have pictures of someone on the wall?
I don't think I did, but tell me. I So who did I have pictures on the wall of?
Oh, you must have. Come on.
You don't know, do you?
Well, I didn't live in your bedroom, no.
The offer was there.
Over to Matthew. He wasn't there either.
No. Loads of heroes, though.
Yes. Yours, Ian. Clive of India, or...?
General Napier. I had him
Right.
up for a while. Got bored of him, pulled him down.
And what about you? What pictures did you have on the wall?
George Best, Bobby Charlton, Dennis Law.
And what was...
Olivia Newton-John.
So was this in her Grease sort of mode?
Oh, no, but when she used to appear on Cliff Richard shows.
Oh, right. Sort of quite apple pie, sort of hair in curls.
That's right, yeah. Sort of layers.
Layers. A little misty look came in your eye then. Did you used to kiss it?
Did I kiss the poster?
Yeah.
I wasn't that sad, Paul, no.
I bet you did.
No.
You sort of say, excuse me, George, I won't be a moment. Dennis, Bobby, I'll be with you in a sec.
Where were we? Oh, yes, a quiz. The answer is that they've all booked Bernard Manning.
The Queen has booked Bernard Manning?
Well, effectively, for the Royal Command performance, yes, in 1972.
What, she
No,
did
the Queen hasn't booked the Royal Command performance.
Just sit in the office. Who have we got this year?
She has to approve them.
I'm sorry, if we can't have Keith Harris, the whole thing's off. What nonsense.
Yeah, she...
You think she prints the stamps?
Surely.
Dear, oh dear.
Yes, let's just list one or two of his publications, for example.
Well, some of them are really revolting. I mean, the Daily Express was start.
Well, fortunately, Jeremy Paxman did it for us last night when he met Tony Blair.
They also own Horny Housewives, Mega Boobs, Posh Wives, Skinny and Wrigley. Do you know what these magazines are like?
No.
The story about buyers is a sideshow, isn't it? The basic story is here's this man who's a pornographer who's giving money to the Labour Party, and they're taking it happily.
And what did Mr. Desmond receive the day that he took over the Daily Express?
A firm handshake?
He received an invitation to number 10.
Did he?
To have tea at number 10, yeah. Not
Perhaps
just
he's
Tony
planning
Blair.
a new publication, Prime Minister's Wives.
Smelly, gross and good fun.
This is the Science Museum, which is putting on an exhibition called Grossology.
You go there often?
Go there often? I do go there, actually. It's actually terribly good, the Science Museum. And it attracts children. And this exhibition is about farting.
That didn't sound very good.
You get in half price?
Yep.
You might like to rephrase that.
It's very good if you have children because it's
Okay.
a very entertaining museum. But this is an exhibition about farting and bodily fluids.
Philip Gould, he's an advisor to Tony Blair, is he? That's that the same one?
Yes.
Yeah. Gould has said to... Beg your pardon, madam. Are the audience allowed to bring their own trumpets in? Shouldn't you be at the Science Museum?
Good evening and welcome to Have I Got News For You, where this week's loser is presenting it.
Oh, there's a man having his chips. Trying to join the Labour Party, probably. That's Ken. I think this is a thing about party funding.
This has been one story of the week, isn't it? But the one I'm really interested in, Angus, is... Now, you and this prostitute... How did you manage to get off paying her?
She didn't tell me that she's a prostitute.
She didn't tell you?
But you must have paid her for the article. I mean, I don't want to dwell on this, but... He made me groan all night. Yeah, what were you doing? Reading the autocue? Angus was the best lover I've ever had, and you didn't pay her? This is just unbelievable. We could have kept going till breakfast. were you doing? Talking about football?
I suppose you didn't know where to put your face, really, once you'd heard the story. Or did you just take it on the chin?
Right.
There was an awful lot of detail, wasn't there?
Yes, yes. Remind me about some of it.
There is, by the way, no need to adjust your set. My face is this red.
He always found the time to talk, even when he was in the studio filming his show. Want to make any calls?
I think that's the most libelous bit of the lot, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. That's him.
I wondered if she was wired. Didn't she was wired?
Don't think she was the only one that was wired.
Is there an agency called Slappers Are Us? You just sort of
I think there's
ring
quite
them
a
up.
few, yeah. Is that it, or do you want to... Because obviously there was another question that I was
There's a
asking
world
about.
war breaking out in India. Are you convinced that this will clean up the Labour Party, then, this committee?
No.
You did describe yourself as a model of new Labour conformity.
Really? Oh, what was I on at the time?
Angus can sort you out.
One of Labour's most controversial donors was porn baron Richard Desmond. The Times recently printed a full list of Mr Desmond's publications, which include Big Girls, Mega Boobs, Big Runs International and The Very Best of Whoppers, which is also published under the title Stephen Byers' Autobiography.
Oh, it could be a list that you have for room service.
And you spent £103 on a taxi for Helen Mirren.
Well, that was just a mistake. No one.
Do you know what a mistake is, Angus? Have you heard of that?
This is Lord Bert's proposed system of new toll roads. The scheme in...
Keep going.
All right. The scheme involves drivers being charged a fee for using motorways with...
It says here that you played gangster rap on the stereo.
Really?
What's gangster rap? How does
no
that go?
idea. Ian, what's gangster rap?
Do you know, that was one of the few terms in the article I didn't understand.
Dave, you're young. What's gangster rap?
I haven't got the faintest idea.
We haven't got the faintest idea.
Really?
But
No.
I didn't put it on my stereo and you did.
Oh, well, there we are. The scheme involves...
Just because it's gone down there, I don't think it's going to work.
Looking forward to its re-emergence. The scheme involves drivers being charged a fee for using motorways, with the exception of the M25, where it'll be pay and display.
Really? You didn't do the pay bit, did you?
No. The idea...
I'm surprised you had a nerve to turn up this week, really. You knew it was going to be like this.
Well, I did, yes, because of you two.
Yes, in a way, it's our fault, isn't it?
I certainly felt to blame personally, didn't you?
Yes. Sorry. So
Thank goodness I took a line of coke before I came on.
This idea, the idea we were talking about, will mean yet more work for Transport Secretary...
You don't think any of this stuff's going to be used, do you? Nobody gives a damn about Stephen Byers this week, Transport Secretary, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares.
Yes. Well, I'm learning that slowly, yes.
This must have been one of those days when Stephen Byers could have leaked some more news.
What were some of the other genetic...
None of this is going to be used. I don't know, what are the other things that just move on quickly.
Genetically modified animals this week.
A giraffe with no neck, a horse that can
Yes.
speak, and a mouse that plays a mouth organ.
Yeah.
Move on. Next. Chickens with no clothes. Move on. Nuclear wars threatened this week.
Yes, you read about that then?
I couldn't find it in the papers.
Pooty Poot Putin. Ian and Dave, what's that all about?
Well, this is the pet name of Bush for Putin.
Yes.
Which actually I think is just an aid memoir. Just Pooty Poot Putin. He's got them for all of them. Blairy, Blairy, Blair.
Yeah, Blair has got a nickname as well, of course. Do you really
Here, boy.
The shaving grace of Mr. Average.
This is one of those stories about how much the average man shaves in the course of a lifetime, and they've come up with some figure. If he didn't shave, his beard would reach from here to Manchester or London or whatever. So it's one of those stories, basically, about what the average man gets up to in his uneventful life.
Yes. What were the other fascinating facts?
It also said the average man has sex twice a week, which with people like you around means there's a lot of people getting nothing.
There were things like his final meal before exexecution.
Yes, he wants a steak.
Curiously.
The average man
Is the average man being executed? Gosh, I knew Blunkett was cracking down.
And 97% know who Mr. Blair is. 77% know who you are, apparently. Which is not bad.
That might go
factor.
up when they start paying the congestion charge, I think.
But you came second in a popularity poll, didn't you?
Yes, to the Pope, but it was a long time ago.
Did you feel, you know,
Well, it was
slightly
quite
aggrieved?
interesting. It was that Today Man of the Year thing. And it was 1982, and I was being pilloried in the press, hate mail coming in. I turn on the radio, I'm second to the Pope. You know?
What did that tell you?
Not to believe what crap I read in the papers.
Didn't you think...
In all cases, or...?
Pretty much, I think, yeah.
So it's not true, any of it?
The basic traits.
Is that what you're saying? It's not true? Is that what you're saying?
Sorry.
It's not true, that's what you're saying?
Elements are true, elements are untrue.
There was an elephant in there? Where'd you get the stamina from? So which bits aren't true, then?
The elephants, actually. I was making it up. What were we talking about? Oh, yes. A survey.
I was very popular, was
Mr.
where you
Average.
stopped.
Oh, that's thank you, yes.
I wanted the question about the Roman transvestite this week.
Oh, yes, I
Did anyone read that?
Yeah.
It was just under all the stories about Angus, but it was rather good.
Remind me.
It was this... They found the remains of a Roman transvestite who lived happily in England. He belonged to the cult of this woman called Cybele, and all her followers used to go out into the streets, and if they'd been unfaithful, they would cut off their own testicles as a symbol of repentance.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, thank God we live in enlightened times.
Has anyone got a pair of nail scissors?
3 of them are appearing on Jerry Springer's show in a My Lover Isn't Human.
Remote chance of what for women? Help yourself.
Is that what you said?
You've
when
said
you
that
lay down?
before, haven't you?
I think it's very bad, really, to have bought the newspapers on. Imagine going to that kind of effort to, you know, I mean, I was as guilty of Ian, really, of sort of bringing on the front cover of the News of the World. I mean, it's really... To go to all that kind of effort is just unbelievable.
Is the wrong answer.
They're available in cream as well.
Are they? Excellent. Controlling TV viewing is the answer.
Oh, is it really?
Yes. It's men who hold on to the remote control in households, according to scientists.
Oh, really?
Yes, that was the answer to the question.
Was it?
Yes. According to a neuropsychologist at Maudsley Hospital...
You can't look me in the eye now, can you?
No. I look you in the eye, that's all right. The only answer is to hide it, apparently, according to...
Really?
Yes. Neuropsychologist said that.
Did he?
Yeah. Next, I what last week? Why did I bother?
Book a hotel room? Got me Barclay card dirty?
Hire the PR man.
Yeah, you must be paying him a fortune.
Thank goodness he's kept you out the press.
I made a speech, is the answer. Next, what? A rich source of vitamins?
It's just too easy.
This is, in fact, Italian leader's goat. This is actually a Greek play entitled The Frogs, and not an unpleasant racist
Aristophanes'
reference.
The Frogs.
Exactly.
Oh.
That one that you know oh so well.
It's very good, The Frogs.
Is it? Tell us about it. No, haven't got time, sorry.
All right, I'll tell you another story I know quite well.
OK.
I've got a copy of my T-shirt over there.
Various other countries have also been doing their bit. The Brazilians were trying to endear themselves to the local population. Here's Ronaldo. Attempting to win a Duke of Edinburgh award, perhaps.
Well, what about then if Tony Blair and Ian Paisley and Concord have been impersonated by lookalikes, and Jeanette Charles is the lookalike and she's impersonated the Queen, so she's the odd one out?
Is the right answer ish? The answer is they've all been impersonated by the Queen, oddly enough, except for Jeanette Charles, who, of course, impersonates her.
The Queen has travelled to New York in 3.5 hours?
She does an impersonation of Concorde taking off.
Does she?
She does.
I bet nobody's got the guts to tell her it stinks.
She does a number of impressions. Neil Kinnock, Cherie, she can do, apparently. John Prescott.
She does John Prescott. Hey, come on, then. Your Majesty, the Zimbabwe... Hey, come here now. Hey, stinks that, son. The Queen does John Prescott. Yeah. What a load of rubbish.
That was Ronaldo, and it hit his hip, and then it affected his face. It hit him with such force that it actually impacted, and his eye came out. Like that. Apparently, if you push his eye, his arse comes out.
Yes, we can see Rivaldo's.
Rivaldo, I do
yes,
apologise,
so
I feel a
close,
fool. Look at him go, that's fantastic, isn't it?
Top of the thigh, and
yeah.
Ow, my nose. So who's standing by, ready to leap to action if England get knocked out?
Samaritans.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yes, the Samaritans at the end. In case people are depressed, well, they will be by the time this goes out, won't they? Friday night, there'll be queues outside the Samaritans.
At the moment, we don't know. We don't know. If England, we could say England were terrible. They lost 4-0, awful, rubbish, or 3-0, or 2, or 1-0. Or what a great team. They beat Argentina 1-0. 6-0, 7-0, 8-0, 4-0. And everything was going really well until a giraffe ate the referee. He just picked the bits out of that and then put it out as it goes out live.
Bacteria from kangaroo stomachs is being injected into sheep to make them break wind less often.
Why?
Because 14% of all gas emissions in Australia is caused by sheep and cattle.
You are just making it
No.
sound
How is that possibly measured? 14%? What are we going to do? Get the contents of a kangaroo stomach injected in it? We've got to stop these fattened sheep. It's a load of rubbish.
Kangaroos, you see, don't break wind. That's well known.
No, they do it when they're hopping, so you can't hear it.
No,
They could just light the gas and use that as a form of fuel.
Yeah.
You know.
You don't need a light, you know, in a lighthouse or something. You need a light going around. Just a sheep feeding it baked beans and a little flame underneath. No, that's all you need.
You'd have to spin it.
Yeah.
You know. But if you put it on an angle, it would do that itself.
Exactly.
You, of course, have been on the Australian version of this programme, haven't you?
I have, yes.
How was it?
Well, they don't have any news, which is a bit of a problem. It's g'day. So, someone's bike got nicked.
Would you believe it?
You've splashed out on this, haven't you? It's an unfortunate choice of words, ain't it? Sorry
Yes.
about that.
Next, what's the only occasion on which the Queen's been known to swear?
Was it when Germany lost to England in the 1966 World Cup final?
No, it wasn't.
That bugger has. Oh, no, I remember now. Yes, it was when they were on a royal tour of China, and everybody was saying, you know, must be very diplomatic and all that. And Prince Philip had made an unfortunate gaffe, and she turned to him. She said, "Philip, give it a rest, will you?" Too much of that. Zip it.
That's how she speaks.
That's how she speaks.
That's how she speaks normally.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought? No, this is equally untrue. It was when Michael Fagan got into her bedroom. The Queen was said to have said to a footman who came to her help, "Oh, come on, get a bloody move on." Michael Fagan spent 20 minutes in the Queen's bedroom. Even with 4 children, that's longer than Philip's managed.
I don't think you can do bedroom jokes.
Yes, there's got to be broken bones, isn't it?
Glenda Jackson, when was it? About March. She was on her way to, I think she was on her way to open a homeless centre in Camberwell. She fell, she broke her hip, she broke her wrist, and she still made a speech for an hour.
Yeah, it mainly consists of saying, "Ah, me hip, me out! Get me to a hospital! I used to be on the telly."
He's not been named because he featured in a report in the British Journal of Plastic Surgery. He broke his finger last month, undoing his partner's bra, and was rushed to hospital with major ligament damage.
What sort of bra strap was this that broke his finger?
We can only hazard a guess.
Was it made of some special webbing that sort of like rebounded back on him? What happened to the woman wearing the bra? She was catapulted out of the window. Sit at the top of a flagpole with a bemused look on her face.
Yes.
Brian, we can't go on like this.
The answer is in a Beatles song that Ringo sang the lead on.
Little help from my friend. Yellow Submarine.
Yes, good. Yellow Submarine is good.
They all town where I was born lived a man. You know how it goes.
Well, we thought we did, yes.
Ah, no, right, I've got it. In the Second World War, right, there was a reindeer that the Russians gave, or it might be the Finns, gave to the British, and it was put in a nuclear submarine, or not nuclear submarine, it wasn't nuclear submarine then. Put in a submarine, and it was brought back in this country 4 months later, and this reindeer came out. It was a gift from some people to us people over here. So they've all been in submarines. The Beatles have been in a submarine, except they have not really been in a submarine because they wrote about it, so they were in the cartoon version. So the chick, the fox, and the antelope have all been in submarines, but the Beatles haven't because they just wrote a song about it.
It is a good and correct answer. Darling, I'll make you what?
Promise I won't go to the newspapers.
Telling lies is the answer. Using half the number of ums and ahs that men do.
Is that true in your experience?
They are... At the Sir Walter Raleigh Appreciation Society, there's a light-hearted moment before the Queen disappears down a manhole.